that we're actually going to call off a strike. And we don't also expect any other person to actually start to issue statements indicating that lectures are actually going to begin. We don't expect anyone to actually indicate that, because we were the ones who actually took that decision to do what? A suspension. And the court also indicated that we should take those steps. So until we take those steps, we don't expect anyone to actually do that. And I think there is still a bit of time for us to do that, because I don't think that the court actually indicated that we should do so immediately.
We stay a while on this issue, and we've been joined by our Northern Regional Correspondent Murtala Isa, who has also visited the UDS campus and has gathered some information. Murtala, if you can hear me, what have you gathered so far? Let us return to the lecture halls, and how are students coping with the worrying development?
When I got to the UDS campus in Tamale, the entire campus was almost deserted. You could only see one or two students moving around. The information I gathered is that some of them have left for their various homes, not just in the northern region, but other parts of the country as a result of the strike. We met with the vice president of the UTAC UDS Tamale campus, and he told us that they are still waiting for their national executives who will be consulting the general membership of UTAC and make a decision before they decide to return or make other decisions on the court ruling. So as it stands now, they are not ready to go back to the classroom. They are waiting for their executives to direct them as to what to do next.
For the few students that are still on campus, how are they coping with the situation?
Well, they said, especially for the freshers, they said they have been relying on their senior colleagues, those in level 200, level 300, for some handouts that they have used in previous years and that they've read. Some have also taken advantage of the quiet nature to do business. I was on the Napala campus the other day, and some students have resorted to doing one business or the other. Some told me they are now selling pure water and other things. Yeah.
Murtala, keep your eye on the developments. We'll come back for more in our subsequent bulletins. Now, a visit by GBC News to the University of Ghana campus management of the school hinted that till the dates, they have not received any official report from the court as well as any information from their national executives. We've been speaking to the UTAC General Secretary, Professor Ransford Jampo, who indicated that UTAC is in Parliament today on the issue.
Enthusiasm to learn, to really sit down and then like go through the slides, yeah. And also it has made the whole academic system still very stagnant because of this, and also it also affects we that will also graduate, because as there's strike, it's also pushing back the graduation.
Ever since I resumed school, I've never met any lecturer, and even some time before, there was this unofficial lectures some TAs were organizing for us, but it had to be called off because of the strike and some interference from the lectures too. I'm even deciding on going back home. I'm coming all the way from Kumasi, so I have to go back home.
Even though this strike is really, how do you call it, affecting us, it's not also fair on their part. It is also not fair, so the government should do what they are supposed to do, so that the lecturers come back to the classrooms for everything to work out normally. Because with this, if their demands are not being met and this strike continues, it's going to affect our academic calendar, where it will be taken, to be pushed away, and it's going to make everything really, really messy. So we are pleading with the government to hear their cries so that everything will be restored back to normal.
Academics has been affected with 400 students. We have a project work we need to attend to. And since lectures are not going on, you can't even visit a lecturer to even solicit for his views on your project work and other stuffs, which makes it very difficult in the long run. So basically, it's very hard. With the 400 students, it's very, very hard. I would advise government to sit down with UTAG and negotiate very well for students to come back and also have a nice, steady period.
Obviously, I'm not happy about what is going on in the country. It's going to put pressure on the students when school resumes. So I think government should just, not if they are not able to even they are not able to give what the lecturers are asking for. At least they can do a little. There should be a mutual ground. They should, at least if you are not giving them or give them a part. If you cry for the hawk, you cry for the chicken too.
This semester we had 11 weeks with, examination and all of that. And as of now, I think almost 4 or 5 weeks are already gone. And so looking at the workload we are supposed to cover this semester, we've not started anything yet, and it's very, very disturbing. Very, very disturbing. So I'm just wondering how we'll be able to cover the rest of the semester. Should these lectures return to the classroom, I'll be able to recover this workload within the space of 4 weeks or 5 weeks or 6 weeks left.
In the Upper West region, students have asked UTAG and the government to soften their stance and come to a win-win situation in the ongoing UTAG strike. Speaking to GBC News' Salah Abdul Wahab, the students lamented that they have been at home for long and that the continuous strike has put them in a state of uncertainty.
Students of SDD-UB said their situation is very peculiar because lecturers of this university had earlier on embarked on strike before the one declared by UTAG.
The interesting part about this strike is mainly our campus here. We faced this earlier on before. This is more or less like a top-up. Because last we came and then we suffered this predicament and then we are suffering it again. So, and as a level 300 student, I'm deeply affected. Moreover, I'm studying economics and I have a lot to work on, and then we haven't even touched much and then they are on strike. This has greatly affected us.
The impact of the UTAG strike on me as a student is that it increased the cost of living, then also decreased my standard of living as well.
We were supposed to start items on 16th of February, that is yesterday, and we were supposed to vacate on 4th March. But now how things are going, we think we'll be here for more than the month that we were supposed to be here. And one painful thing is that they keep on increasing things. And as we are here, we are spending. And instead of them to maintain their prices, they are also increasing. So it is affecting us financially and also academically.
They are therefore appealing to the lecturers and the government to take justice with mercy and resolve the impasse amicably.
We are pleading. If there is anything they can do to let our lecturers come back and then to continue with our lectures, we'll be very happy. We'll be very happy.
We are just pleading with the government that because what we know is the UTAG said they will not come back. They are not ready to negotiate. So what they want now, we are pleading with the government that you should just help them so that they can come back to campus and we will continue our studies.
Students of SDD-UB say their situation is very dire and that government needs to sit down with the lecturers to find an amicable solution to the impasse. For GBC News, Salah Abdul Wahab. Wow.
Well, still in the education sector, the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, has called on the Ministry of Education to, as a matter of urgency, halt the current advertisement of head teachers for STEM schools in the country. According to the leadership of NAGRAT, the GES has in place the necessary guidelines in recruiting personnel to head the various secondary schools in the country. At a news conference in Accra, Angel Kabonu of Nagrat also expressed worry over the unjustifiable removal of teachers from the government's payroll.
Asking people to apply for headmasters and headmistresses in the newly completed science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM schools that were established by government. The impression is being created as if the STEM schools are different from senior high schools in this country. The knowledge we have as a union is that STEM schools are senior high schools with emphasis in the teaching of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics subjects. If this situation is allowed to prevail, it will be the beginning of political appointments of heads of our institutions in the Ghana Education Service, and we cannot accept that situation. Wanton removal of teachers' names from the payroll of the Ghana Education Service. Due to complaints and petitions from teachers all over the country, it has become clear that officials of the Ghana Education Service GES at various levels are taking advantage of their positions to cause the deletion of the names of teachers from the payroll. In other words, removing teachers' names so as that they don't receive salaries. The reason for some of these deletions are so flimsy, and the procedure of going through the prescriptions of the Code of Conduct is usually violated. Whereas it is easy to delete the salary of the teacher, it becomes very difficult and near impossible to restore same even if the reason for the deletion of the salary is rectified.
We turn our attention to the fight against COVID-19 because Ghana, Rwanda, and Senegal are partnering with German biotechnology company BioNTech to fill, finish, and package BioNTech vaccines in Africa. However, vaccines manufactured in these facilities will be dedicated to domestic use and exports to other member states of the African Union at a not-for-profit price. This was announced at a high-level meeting in Marburg, Germany on Wednesday, 16 February 2022.
High-level meeting in Germany, BioNTech SE introduced a scalable vaccine production mRNA manufacturing facility based on a container solution. Dubbed as BioNTech, the state-of-the-art modular production facility will consist of one drug substance and one drug product module, each built of 6 ISO-sized containers. Each module requires 800 square meters of space and offers an estimated capacity of several hundreds of millions of doses of mRNA-based vaccines such as BioNTech COVID-19, malaria, and tuberculosis vaccines, if they are successfully developed and approved. First BioNTech is expected to be shipped to Rwanda and Senegal in mid-2022, and Ghana will support the manufacturing, will fill and finish capacities. President Akufo-Addo Makiso and Paul Kagame of Senegal and Rwanda witnessed the presentation of BioNTech model production facility in Marburg. For President Akufo-Addo, this Pan-African project fits very well into Ghana's roadmap for vaccine development and manufacturing developed by the Vaccine Manufacturing Committee, which he constituted nearly 1 year ago. BioNTech will be responsible for the delivery and setup of the models, while local authorities and government will ensure the needed infrastructure. BioNTech will initially staff, own and operate the facilities to support the safe and rapid initiation of the production of mRNA-based vaccine doses. In the longer term, the company plans to transfer manufacturing capacities and the know-how to local partners to enable sustainable production of mRNA vaccines in Africa. Edward Nyakun, reporting for GBC News.
Now, between mid-year 2020 and 2021, monthly earnings of informal workers declined. In the same period, food insecurity also increased. These are some of the findings contained in a WEGO study report on COVID-19 crisis and its impact on the informal economy in Accra. Tema regional correspondent Michael Dionu is currently at the launch of the study report and joins us live with some more details. Michael, if you can hear me, what have you been gathering so far?
Thank you, Sunny, and good afternoon to you. Sunny, you are aware that the country's economy is made up of 80% in the informal sector. And this informal sector was heavily affected during the COVID-19 period. And we've not had so much of a research to tell us the real impact about this effect. But WEGO, that is Women in Informal Employment, have done an extensive research in this area, and today that study report has been released. Let me say that this is the second round report. The first round report was somewhere in April last year, but the second round report is out today. The launch just ended some few hours ago with the General Secretary of the TUC launching that report. But we are fortunate to be joined by the lead consultant who held this, who had this research, in Dr. Usu, and he's joining us to tell us the key findings about this particular research and the recommendations and what they are trying to achieve with this particular finding that has come out. Thank you so much, and good afternoon to you, Doctor.
Good afternoon.
You are welcome to GBC News Live. We want to find out what was the basis for this particular research, and what went into this research. What were your
First and foremost, as you indicated in your intro, this study was undertaken by WEGO, that is Women in Informal Employment, Globalizing and Organizing. It's a global research and advocacy organization that seeks to empower the working class in the informal sector. So this study, the first round was undertaken 2020, June, July. And then the first round, 2020, June, July. The second round was undertaken, that was last year, June, July. And the objective was basically to assess the impact of COVID-19 on informal workers, especially their lives and livelihoods, and also to kind of understand the extent to which they are recovering from the crisis. So as you said, we launched the second round, that's today, focusing specifically on Accra. We actually interviewed workers from 4 subsectors: waste pickers, market traders, street vendors, and the kaya. The key findings are that, first, they've not recovered from income losses. Yes, because their incomes have not gotten, it's not up to what pertains to the pre-COVID periods. Secondly, they are working lesser days compared to last, when we did the first round study. In terms of food insecurity, it also emerged from the study that there is a high increase in the household adult hunger. Households are eating less, a small variety of food, and also they're also skipping meals to cope with the impact of the crisis. The other issue has to do with the fact that they're also reducing what we call going down their savings to be able to cope with the impact of the crisis. But one interesting thing about the study is that we, within the Ghanaian context, realize that it's what we call crisis on top of crisis. Wow. In the midst of COVID-19, especially where government, IMMDs are embarking on all kinds of evictions without actually consulting the informal workers and their leaders to see how this eviction exercises impact on their livelihoods. And the informal workers put crisis upon top of crisis. For WEGO, we are as an advocacy organization, so we want to bring to light the challenges that this working class are facing in the informal economy, who are most often overlooked by state policy makers and state actors. So we want to just bring light on the challenges that these workers are facing, for government actors or state actors to act on because they constitute a very critical segment of the urban economy. Sure. As you indicated, the urban workforce, 80% of the urban workforce is in the informal economy. And if you focus on even Greater Accra, 56% of the labor force is found in the informal economy. Now you show that they are critical components of the economy, yet they're overlooked or they are not even recognized at all. One critical issue that we met from the state is the lack of relief for the informal workers.
But we know government were dishing out some relief, food item and other things. Did that come up in your research?
In fact, our research showed that only those that we interviewed, only about 5% say that they receive food assistance. But cash grants, 0%. Okay, and we know Ghana, if Ghana government give a cash grant, they will not get to who needed it the most, i.e. the informal workers. Of course, we are aware of the MDSSI program, the loan that which is under the CAP or the Coronavirus Alleviation Program. You see, the challenge is that we, in our analysis, we made that this program was not designed for the informal. Why are we saying this? If you see, ask them to go online to apply, you see the cumbersome process that they have to go through to apply for this loan. And then secondly, there were other requirements that they find it difficult to meet. You have to provide 10 numbers. Look at the bureaucratic process they have to go through to acquire 10 numbers. So before some of them could apply, it was too late for them.
Sure, Doc, there's not so much time. I want us to go straight. We will invite you probably so that we digest so much into that. But can you tell us what are your recommendations? What are you recommending? What should government do to be able to make sure that these informal sector workers recover quickly? Because we are all on the path of recovery, and that one we want to do.
I mean, during the lunch, you hear the voices of the informal workers. Some are asking for respect and recognition, and that their right to work should be protected because they are workers just like any other worker within the urban economy. So that's the first thing, is that their right to work should be protected. Second, they should be organized by state actors. The MMDs, before they embark on any interventions, the informal actors need to be consulted. They have to be brought to the table for them to discuss and how that even policy impacts on their livelihoods. And then second, social protection schemes should also be tailored towards, especially informal, the poor working class in the urban economy. We know LEAP is there, but LEAP caters basically for rural folks, or rural poverty, urban poverty. So it's a situation where the LEAP program, if it's possible, should be extended to cover the urban poor as well.
Doc, we are so grateful. We'll find time also to go deep into that discussion with you. And so that has been the research finding that and I've been speaking with the lead consultant for WIGO. And so I earlier also spoke to the TUC General Secretary, Dr. Ba, who said that there is the need for the ministry to take care of the informal sector. And that one we would also be keeping an eye on, and we will keep our viewers updated. For GBC News, my name is Michael Dawoni reporting.
Dagbon Forum, a pressure group in Dagbon, has called for compensation for victims of Sunday's clash between the police and residents, which resulted in the deaths of a young man and left 8 others injured. Addressing a news conference in Tamale today, the Vice President of Dagbon Forum, Chief Muhammad Sintaro, expressed displeasure over the conduct of some police officers in the northern region in recent times. The Dagbon Forum is therefore calling for an end to police brutalities in the region. Correspondent Murtala Isa joins us from Tamale once again with more from what he has gathered from the news conference.
A number of victims lying at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, including a young man whose face has been disfigured. Yesterday, the father asked that he be airlifted to Accra for further medical attention. This morning, we are just coming out of a press conference where the Dagbon Forum, a pressure group here in the northern region, is asking for justice for the victims, including the deceased. I want to find out from the Vice President of the Dagbon Forum, Chief Muhammad Sintaro, what specifically are you asking for from government?
We are asking for the police service to ensure that the right thing is done, not only for the deceased, but for the injured. And to do so, the right investigation must be done. And for the right investigation to be done, the right people who are independent, impartial, must do the investigation so that a conclusion can be made and submitted to the IGP for the relevant action to be taken.
At least, are you satisfied that as we speak, 2 police officers have already been arraigned before court? And does that satisfy you?
The satisfaction would only come after the end of the whole process. 2 people being arrested or arraigned and interdicted, about 6 people. That is part of the process, and it's only a process. It's not an event. So it is part of the process. So we will follow it and see what becomes the outcome.
Chief Mahama Sintaro is the Vice President of the Forum. What is of interest is that across Lamashegu and the northern region, chiefs continue to impress upon the youth here to remain calm. From the Lamashegu Palace, Mutalisa for GBC News.
The Bono region is in the throes of an avian influenza outbreak that has so far affected the poultry industry in the Sunyani West and Sunyani municipalities. So far, over 40,000 birds, along with huge quantities of eggs and poultry feed, have been destroyed. Stakeholders, led by the Bono Regional Veterinary Services Department, are currently focused on preventing the disease, also known as bird flu, from spreading to the 10 other municipalities and districts in the Bono region and beyond. Our correspondent John Samata joins us live from Sunyani with more on the worrying situation. John, what have you gathered so far?
An outbreak of avian influenza, also known as bird flu, has been detected here in the Bono region since January 13. It started in Sunyani West, but it has now spread to Sunyani East. And we understand so far about 11 farms have been affected with over 40,000 birds destroyed. We are here at the Veterinary Services Department in Sunyani to find out more about the efforts to ensure that this disease does not spread from these 2 districts to the 10 other districts here in the Bono region. So we have Dr. Joachim Darko, the regional veterinarian, standing by to brief us on efforts to ensure that this bird flu disease does not spread and threaten the big poultry industry here in the Bono region.
On the latest influenza, also known as bird flu, which unfortunately has arrived in Sunyani, Sunyani East and Sunyani West.
Yeah, thank you for your question. Yes, we are doing our best, but unfortunately we have 11 farms affected now, with a total of about 42,000 birds, out of which 36,000 were depopulated or killed humanely, and then 6,000 died out of the disease. And upon that, we had to destroy about 4,000 crates of eggs, and then about 36 bags of, no, there are some, yeah, because each of the bags are 50 kilos, about 36 bags in tons, some few tons of feed has also been destroyed.
I'm sure eggs as well.
Yes, I mean the crates, each crate contains 30 eggs and 4,200 plus eggs.
So where are we at now? Because it started from Sunyani West, it's now in Sunyani East.
Yes.
And how do you see the effort to prevent it from going further? Is it going well?
Yes, I think so, because we have met since the outbreak on the 13th of January. We have met at least 3 times with the farmer, with the stakeholders. Basically, the farm, the owner or the farmers, right? The poultry farmers. We have met with them, even the Association of Transporters, Egg Transporters, the Association of Egg Sellers, with their queens and everybody, and we have even gone to the extent of spraying or disinfecting feed mills, where we think could also be a source of infection, and as well disinfection of all vehicles who were Brekum, Doma bound vehicles were all disinfected as well at the Fiapre police stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Residents in the Nabdam district in the Upper East region are complaining about their poor road network. They say the roads get worse in the rainy season. Peter Gengri from GBC's Upper East office has visited the district and has come through with this report.
For the residents is the bad state of the major routes to some of the district's commercial centers. They say in the rainy season especially, it is difficult for residents to access basic social amenities. The grievance is that the bad roads are also threatening their lives and properties. The paramount chief of the Sekote traditional area, Naba Asigri Bewong, appealed to the government to quickly intervene with improved roads so farmers can easily transport their produce to other parts of the region.
From Ghana through Zanderu, Tamolgo, Pilungo. From Pilungo to Yakuta, joining the main road. Then from Pilungo to Sokoto should also be rehabilitated. So I want to appeal to government to complete the road.
For many years, the Zandergo, Damolgo, Pilungo stretch of road has remained untraveled. Traders from Bolgatanga are forced to use the Congo-Nangode-Yakuti route to gain access to the biggest Pilungo market in the district. The Pilungo to Sekote road has deep potholes, dangerous curves, and is very narrow for drivers and motor riders. Some road users who spoke to GBC News said they become dirty whenever they travel on these roads to work.
When you are riding, whether you're a motorbike or a car, and somebody is behind you, the dark is too much. You cannot see the front or the back.
When you're going to what occasion, you can use a watch or anything that is nice for you. For now, look at the way I dress. From here to here, I'm already dirty.
When we are carrying pregnant women as well as sick people, it's always a very challenging that we are going through. But we are left with no option than to manage the road that way. It is actually our wish that the government will pay quick attention to it for us.
The Nabdam District Chief Executive, Madam Agnes Anamo, said her office is working hard to get these roads fixed in the shortest possible time. She pleaded with the people to be a bit more patient and support her to get the job done.
It was just last month we went to the minister too and spoke about these roads. And these were the same roads I complained as myself and the paramount chiefs went. Then I told them, they said, okay, as for those roads, they have been constructed, and very soon contractors will be on site.
The people say due to the dust from the roads, they always catch colds and are unable to wear white clothes. So until the roads are fixed, these problems, including the extremely bad situation in the rainy season, will remain on the top of their priority list. Peter Agengre, GBC News, Nabdam District.
We go for a break. We return with business. Stay with us. Good afternoon. We do business. We start with new appointment from the presidency because the Ghana Airport Company has a new managing director. Madam Pamela Jamsin Tete has been appointed new managing director of the Ghana Airport Company. She takes over from Mr. Yao Kwakwa, who was dismissed weeks ago.
Madam Pamela Jamsin Tete has over 25 years of proven track record in senior management, including 9 years in the mining industry, 9 years in the manufacturing sector, and 5 years in the power sector. In the statement by the company, Madam Jamsin Tete is described as strategically astute, possesses a strong ability to build sustainable relationships with excellent interpersonal communication and language skills. The statement stated that Pamela has excellent analytical skills with a strong bias for political science, government relations, community relations, environment, international relations, and diplomatic protocols. From 2001 to 2009, Pamela was Executive Director and Director of Corporate Relations at Diageo, Ghana. Madam Jamsin Tete holds a BA degree in International Relations from the United States International University Hertz, a postgraduate diploma in Politics and Diplomacy from the University of Kent, UK, and an MA degree in International Relations, University of Kent, UK. She is also an accredited member of the Institute of Public Relations, Ghana.
And some more appointments from the presidency. Former Deputy Sports Minister Perry Kwabena Okojeto and Linda Asante have been appointed Deputy Chief Executives of the National Petroleum Authority. In a statement, the NPA confirmed the appointment of Perry Okojeto and Linda Asante during the governing board meeting on its 29th ordinary meeting held in on February 15. Both Perry Okojeto and Linda Asante would complement the works of the Chief Executive, Dr. Mustafa Hamid, in directing the administration of the Petroleum Regulatory Body. The appointment takes effect 1st March 2022. We go to the stock market, where the market share of pension funds on the Ghana Stock Exchange doubled in 2021, but the appetite for equities remained low. Pension funds holdings on equities grew 4% in 2021, compared with 1.5% in 2020. The exchange has since been engaging fund managers, urging them to increase their interest in equities to help improve the market's liquidity.
As at the end of 2020, about 98% of our pension fund managers hold Government of Ghana securities. And thankfully, through our engagement with them last year, we saw that they doubled their uptake and came into our equity market strongly. But of course, as you saw from the charts, the foreign pension funds continue to dominate 69% of the trades in our market. The engagement continues. It starts with education. So we've been meeting the corporate trustees as well as the individual trustees. Last year we held 2 formal training sessions for them in partnership with the NPRA, the SEC. This year we plan the same number. We'll be going to their boardrooms. We are working with their fund managers, and many of them are beginning to see the need for them to invest in. In fact, they are asking us, what should we buy? Give us products to buy. And that is why for us, the push to bring new issuances, more IPOs onto the market is critical so that they can participate not just in the already existing companies, but also new companies coming up. The other thing we need to look at is what we call the market float. So today we have about 36 companies, but very few of them trade. So even the type of company that we are able to attract onto the market is very, very critical for us. You should come to the market with enough securities out there so that people can buy and sell when they need to get in and out.
Also in business, businesses in Ghana continue to recover from the shocks of COVID-19. That's according to the latest COVID-19 business tracker survey. The third wave identified multiple recovery pathways such as sales,
access to inputs, finance and employment compared to the 2022 second round data.
The COVID-19 Business Tracker Survey is conducted by the Ghana Statistical Service in partnership with the United Nations Development Programme and the World Bank. Despite seeing an improved recovery in the latest series, the data shows a considerable decline in the rate of reduction in hours worked, wage reduction, and leave without pay over the 3 data collection periods in 2020 to 2021.
From an input perspective and also from a finance perspective, we did see that there was a whooping increase from 3.5% to 4.1% in terms of firms' access to inputs, and this indicates a sevenfold increase between waves 1 and 2. And from an access to finance perspective, we did record 0.8 in the first wave, and in the third wave, we have recorded 8.6 in terms of increased access to financial services.
Moreover, the Wave 1 data also show an increase in reopening of previously fully closed firms. Out of 30,654 firms that were previously closed in the second wave results, almost half are fully opened in the latest report. However, close to half are still closed, suggesting more supports to help all businesses fully bounce back.
Firms are adopting and have, as a result of the pandemic, accelerated their use of new technologies that we think will allow them to operate more efficiently and more productively in the future. In fact, our recent country economic memorandum, which we titled Ghana Rising, identified the ability of firms to adopt new technologies as a very crucial component for spurring growth going forward.
The third wave business tracker showed rising use of mobile money among firms for sales. Compared to the earlier series, almost 7 out of 10 firms are now using mobile money to do business, with mobile money usage increasing to 69.6%. Similarly, more businesses are adopting the use of internet for sales.
We go to the interbank forex market where the cedi is depreciating, especially against the US dollar, trading at 6 cedis 31 pesos to the dollar. The pound sterling going for 8 cedis 57 pesos and the euro going for 7 cedis. We also bring you updates from the international commodities market.